Nobody believed in me. When I was making just $8 an hour. When my pockets were empty but my dreams were huge. When every interview ended in rejection. Nobody believed in me. But that became my power. Because when nobody believes in you, that's when you discover who you really are. That's when you stop chasing validation from the outside. And start building strength from the inside. People told me, be realistic. Teachers said, play it safe. Friends said, stop dreaming so big. But remember this. Average people give average advice. Broke people give broke advice. And scared people give scared advice. I kept visualizing myself in that Ferrari. They laughed, they mocked, they called me crazy. But today, that dream is my reality. So listen. When someone says, you can't do it, what they're really saying is, I can't do it. They're projecting their fears onto you. They're handing you their limitations and asking you to accept them. Because when your belief comes from the inside, nobody can take it away. When your motivation comes from your vision, nobody can kill it. When your drive comes from your purpose, nobody can stop it. But belief is not a one-time thing. You have to feed it every single day. You have to talk to yourself better than anyone else talks to you. You have to see yourself achieving what everyone else calls impossible. You have to fall in love with the process, even when nobody else sees it yet. I wasted years trying to convince other people I was going to make it. But the moment I stopped convincing them, and started convincing myself, everything changed. The moment I stopped looking for their approval, and started chasing my own improvement, everything shifted. And here's the truth about belief, it's contagious. But it has to start with you. You can't inspire others to believe if you don't believe in yourself. You can't convince anyone you're going to make it, if you're not convinced yourself. So stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for validation. Your dreams don't need their approval. Your goals don't need their support. Your success doesn't need their validation. What you need is obsession with your growth. What you need is focus on your journey. What you need is love for your potential, so deep that you stop needing their love. I remember the day I bought my first luxury car. The same people who laughed when I read car magazines at work. The same people who mocked me for dreaming big. Were now asking me, what's your secret? And my answer was simple. The secret isn't luck. The secret isn't talent. The secret is, I never stopped believing in myself. Even when nobody else did. Especially when nobody else did. Because their doubt became my fuel. Their rejection became my motivation. Their disbelief became my determination. When people don't believe in you, they're not your enemy. They're just afraid. Afraid because they settled. Afraid because they quit. They call it protecting you, but in reality, they're protecting their own comfort. Safe doesn't build anything. Safe doesn't create anything. Safe doesn't achieve anything. The most dangerous thing in life is to play it safe. Because if you don't bet on yourself, you're betting against yourself. I used to be terrified of failing. Terrified of people saying, I told you so. But then I realized, if I don't try, I fail anyway. If I don't take the shot, I miss anyway. If I don't chase the dream, it dies anyway. So tell me, which is worse? Failing while trying? Or failing while not trying? At least when you fail while trying, you learn. You grow. You become stronger. But when you fail without trying, you stay the same. The same problems. The same life. The same regrets. And that's exactly what most people want. They want you predictable. They want you small. Because your growth forces them to look in the mirror, and that scares them. So they'll laugh. They'll doubt. They'll tell you to be realistic. But they don't understand this simple truth. You don't have to be special to do special things. You don't have to be different to create a different life. You just have to be willing. Willing to work when they're not working. Willing to learn when they're not learning. Willing to risk when they're not risking. Most people live and die inside the walls of other people's expectations. But not you. You're not here to play small. You're not here to fit their limits. You're here to break them. Because when your belief starts within you, nothing outside you can stop you. They never explore their full potential. Because they're too busy living inside someone else's vision of who they should be. But when nobody believes in you, that's your chance to find out who you really are. That's your chance to test your own limits instead of accepting theirs. That's your chance to write your own story instead of playing a role in theirs. I'll never forget a conversation I had with my mentor years ago. I was frustrated. Complaining that nobody supported my goals. That my family didn't understand my vision. And he said something that changed everything. The reason they don't believe in you is because they can't see what you see. They can't feel what you feel. They don't have access to your vision, because it's your vision, not theirs. You're asking them to believe in something they can't touch. That's not their job. Their job is to love you as you are. Your job is to believe in who you're becoming. That hit me like a truck. I realized I was asking them to believe in my dreams. More than I believed in them myself. So I stopped asking. And I started building. I stopped looking for their support. And I started supporting myself. And that's when everything changed. Because when you stop needing other people to believe in you, you become free. Free to chase the dream. Free to try the impossible. Free to become the person you were meant to be. Instead of the person they expect you to be. But freedom comes with responsibility. The responsibility to believe in yourself, even when it's hard. Even when it's lonely. Even when it feels impossible. That's where champions are made. You think Michael Jordan's high school coach believed in him when he cut him from the team? You think Steve Jobs' teachers believed in him when he dropped out of college? No. They had to believe in themselves first. They had to see their own potential before anyone else could see it. And so do you. Because belief starts with you. Success starts with you. Everything starts with you. But let's be honest, there will be days when even you don't believe in yourself. Days when their doubt starts sounding like truth. That's normal. That's human. The difference between people who make it and people who don't is not that successful people never doubt themselves. It's that they don't let doubt stop them. They hear the fear, and they move forward anyway. They hear the voice saying, "You can't." And they choose to listen to a louder voice that says, "Watch me." When I finally started succeeding, something funny happened. The same people who doubted me suddenly wanted to be around me. The same people who laughed at me suddenly wanted my advice. And I realized something. They didn't believe in me because I proved them wrong. They believed in me because I proved myself right. You can't talk people into believing in your dream. You can only show them. Through your work. Through your results. Through your persistence. So stop wasting time trying to convince them with words. Start convincing them with actions. Start building a life so undeniable that they can't ignore it. And understand this. You don't need their belief to begin. You don't need their support to start. You don't need their permission to chase your dream. Every single day you wait for someone else to believe in you is another day you're not believing in yourself. And here's the harsh truth. Some people will never believe in you. Not because you're not capable. Not because your dream isn't real. But because they gave up on their own. They failed so many times, they convinced themselves success was impossible. And now they're trying to protect you from pain. By protecting you from trying. But pain is not the enemy. Disappointment is not the end. Failure is not final. These are just lessons, disguised as setbacks. Looking back now, I'm grateful for the people who didn't believe in me. Because they forced me to dig deeper. They forced me to become self-reliant. They forced me to build resilience I never knew I had. If everyone had believed in me from the start, I wouldn't have fought this hard. I wouldn't have grown this strong. I wouldn't have become this relentless. Sometimes the best gift people can give you is to doubt you. Sometimes the greatest favor is to underestimate you. Sometimes the biggest blessing is to be counted out. Because when you're the underdog, you have nothing to lose, and everything to prove. And there is freedom in that. When nobody expects anything from you, you're free to exceed all expectations. When nobody thinks you can do it, you're free. Free to do it your way. When nobody believes in your vision, you're free to build it exactly how you see it. So start looking at disbelief differently. It's not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. It's not discouragement, it's motivation. It's not a reason to quit, it's a reason to keep going. Every time someone says, "You can't do it," say, "Thank you for the fuel." Every time someone doubts you, say, "Thank you for the motivation." Every time someone questions your dream, remind yourself, "The only belief I need is my own." Because here's the truth. Their belief in you is nice, but it's not necessary. Their support is helpful, but it's not required. Their encouragement is welcome, but it's not essential. What's essential is your own unwavering faith. You may not know how you're going to do it. You may not see the full path. But you don't need to. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You don't need permission to start climbing. You just need courage to begin without their blessing. Strength to continue without their support. Faith to believe without their belief. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't the ones with the most support. They're the ones who needed the least support. They're the ones who learned to support themselves. Who built an unbreakable relationship with their own potential. That relationship is sacred. It's untouchable. It's unshakable. Because it doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion, approval, or validation. When I was broke, stuck in a dead-end job, dreaming of a different life, I wrote down my goals every single day. I read them out loud, every single night. Not to convince anyone else, but to convince myself. People laughed. They said I was crazy. They said I was wasting my time. But I kept doing it. Because I knew, if I stopped feeding my dreams, they would die. If I stopped believing in my goals, they would disappear. Your dreams need daily nutrition. Your goals need constant attention. Your vision needs regular reinforcement. And you can't depend on others to provide it. You have to be your own coach. Your own cheerleader. Your own motivational speaker. Talk to yourself like someone you love. Not someone you're trying to fix. Encourage yourself the way you would encourage a child. Believe in yourself the way you believe in someone you deeply care about. Because the way you treat yourself sets the tone for every relationship in your life. The way you believe in yourself teaches others how to believe in you. But it starts with you. It always starts with you. You can't control their belief. You can control yours. You can't control their support. You can control your own. And when you take full ownership of your belief, when you decide that your faith in yourself will never be shaken, that's when you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier. Not because obstacles disappear. But because your foundation is unbreakable. I've read the stories of countless entrepreneurs, athletes, leaders. And you know the number one trait they all had? It wasn't talent. It wasn't luck. It wasn't connections. It was persistence. The willingness to keep going when others quit. The ability to keep moving forward when everything screamed stop. And you know what fuels persistence? Belief. Not their belief. Not the crowd's belief. Not the family's belief. Your belief. Because other people's belief is conditional. It depends on your performance. But your own belief, it can be unconditional. It can exist no matter what. That's the belief you must build. Belief that doesn't need proof before it exists. Belief that doesn't need permission to be powerful. Belief that burns from the inside out. So when nobody believes in you, remember, you have a choice. You can let their doubt define you. Or you can use it to discover yourself. You can let their disbelief become your prison. Or you can turn it into your fuel. Every insult, wood for the fire. Every doubt, gasoline on the flame. Every rejection, proof of how strong your persistence can become. And here's the secret. You're not doing this to prove them wrong. You're doing this to prove yourself right. Stop trying to change their mind. Start strengthening your own. Stop waiting for them to see your potential. Start seeing it yourself. Because when you believe, deeply, fiercely, unshakably, you don't need their support. You don't need their approval. You don't need their permission. Because when you truly see it, when you really believe it, when you absolutely know it, their opinion becomes irrelevant. Their belief becomes unnecessary. Their support becomes optional. You have everything you need inside yourself. Most successful people weren't the ones with the most believers. They were the ones who needed the fewest. They became their own biggest fan. They learned to motivate themselves regardless of what anyone else thought. And that's a skill. That's something you can learn. You can train yourself to be your own source of motivation. Your own source of encouragement. Your own source of belief. It starts with the voice you listen to every morning. Don't wake up thinking about who doesn't believe in you. Wake up and remind yourself why you believe in you. Don't end your day replaying their doubts. End it by replaying your dreams. Because the most powerful voice in your life is your own. When nobody believed in me, I didn't feel cursed, I felt blessed. Because it forced me to believe in myself. It forced me to create a vision so clear, so strong, that I didn't need anyone else to see it. And years later, when I look back at the people who didn't believe, I don't feel anger. I feel gratitude. Because they gave me the greatest gift they could ever give. The chance to prove to myself that I was capable of more than they ever imagined. So if nobody believes in you right now, congratulations. You're exactly where you need to be. This is your opportunity to build unshakable self-belief. This is your chance to create unstoppable self-motivation. Don't waste it trying to convince them. Use it to convince yourself. Don't burn your energy changing their mind. Use it to strengthen your own. Because when you develop that kind of belief, when you build that kind of self-motivation, you become dangerous. You become the type of person who doesn't need permission to succeed. The type who doesn't need approval to achieve. And that's when everything changes. That's when doors open. That's when opportunities appear. That's when success begins. Not because they finally started believing in you, but because you finally started believing in yourself. So let them doubt. Let them laugh. Let them say it's impossible. While they're busy not believing in you, you'll be busy proving yourself right. And when it happens, when you achieve what they said was impossible, you'll realize something powerful. Their belief was never required. Their support was never necessary. Their encouragement was never essential. The only thing required was you. Your faith. Your determination. Your decision to believe, when nobody else would. Stop waiting for them to believe in you, start believing in yourself. Stop looking for their support, start supporting yourself. Stop needing their encouragement, start encouraging yourself. Because the only belief that truly matters is yours. And when you embrace that, when you accept that, when you live by that, you'll realize something powerful. Nobody believing in you was never the problem. It was the opportunity. The opportunity to prove yourself right. The opportunity to become undeniable. The opportunity to show the world who you really are. So if nobody believes in you, perfect. That just means you get to shock them. That just means you get to scare them. That just means you get to become the person they never thought you could become. While they're busy doubting you, you'll be busy building. While they're busy questioning you, you'll be busy winning. Your time is now. Your moment is here. Your opportunity is today. And the only person who needs to believe in it is you.